Hey guys, on the 10th of April this year, the Board of Governors of the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences announced the creation of an Academy Award category for achievement in stunt design, beginning with the 100th Academy Awards in 2028 for films released in 2027. So, today on Real Rumble, let's talk about stunts. Those moments in film that make your jaw drop, your palms sweat, and your inner child yell, "Do it again!" From cars flipping over like Olympic gymnasts to actors yeeting themselves off buildings, stunts have become an essential part of movie magic. But did they start with explosions and superhero landings? No. The journey of stunts began with banana peels, silent film icons, and some very brave, possibly very underpaid humans. Before we get into this, I want to take the time to say a big thank you to our 200 plus movie lovers on this channel. We at Muveematic are so grateful for your support. You're amazing. If you haven't subscribed, thank you for always watching all the same. All right, what were we talking about again? Oh yes, stunts. The earliest movie stunts weren't about spectacle, they were about slapstick. Think of Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, whose films in the 1910s and 1920s turned physical comedy into high art. Keaton especially was the original stunt goat. He did his own stunts. All of them, including the infamous moment in Steamboat Bill when the whole house wall collapsed around him. No CGI, just math, precision, steel nerves. Back then, there were no stunt doubles, no insurance policies, and definitely no health safety coordinators. You either nailed the take or you got nailed. As cinema got louder and more ambitious, stunts evolved. The 1930s to the 1950s saw the rise of westerns, sword fights, and full-on cavalry charges. Horse falls were practically their own genre. Guys would fling themselves off moving horses, get dragged through the dirt, and bounce back like it was nothing. Spoiler alert, it was something. Many stunt performers actually got seriously hurt. This era also gave us Yakima Cunnett, a rodeo cowboy turned stunt innovator who may as well have been the godfather of action cinema. He basically invented the modern stunt language, the stagecoach transfer, the whip fight, the fake punch that sells on camera without breaking your jaw. If your favorite western has a death-defying chase, some guy leaping from horse to wagon, or a brawl that looks like it really hurts but somehow doesn't land anyone in the ER, thank Yak. The man was the stunt Bible, and his influence echoes through every dust-kicking, adrenaline-pumping action sequence to this day. By the time we hit the 1960s, James Bond had entered the chat, and with him came a new era of stylish danger. Goldfinger, Thunderball, and Live and Let Die introduced high-speed chases, boat jumps, and actual crocodile hopping. Yes, that was a real stunt. These movies didn't just show stunts, they sold them. Meanwhile, over in Asia, a legend named Bruce Lee was redefining screen combat. His martial arts choreography was fast, brutal, and beautiful. Then came Jackie Chan, the guy who watched Buster Keaton and said, "Hold my beer." Jackie combined fight choreography with slapstick comedy and did every insane stunt himself, from sliding down skyscrapers to jumping between moving vehicles. He also broke nearly every bone in his body doing it. Twice. And then we moved on to the glorious excess of the 80s and the 90s, when if something could explode, it did. This was the age of Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, Mad Max, Terminator 2, and literally any movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger growled one-liners and walked away from explosions in slow motion. Stunts went big, jumping off buildings. Real helicopter crashes, jet skis flying through fire. It was beautiful, it was dumb, it was iconic. But this was also the era when stunt profession really came into its own. Stunt coordinators became essential, safety standards got better, finally, and wire work started being used for both action and comedy. Hong Kong cinema exploded with gravity-defying fight scenes where Hollywood began hiring martial artists and choreographers from overseas to elevate fight sequences. Of course, the inevitable happened. Computers. CGI made it possible to do anything, which sounds cool Until it wasn't. Suddenly, studios didn't need to crash real cars or risk Tom Cruise's ankles. They could just press Ctrl-Alt-Boom. We got digital doubles, green screens, and some questionable physics. Looking at you, Vin Diesel, flying across a freeway in a Charger and catching Michelle Rodriguez mid-air like Super Mario Power Up. Now, some movies blended CGI and practical effects well, like The Lord of the Rings and The Matrix, but others started to feel weightless, literally. Without the danger, the stakes felt lower. In recent years, there's been a glorious pushback. Directors like Christopher Nolan for The Dark Knight and Tenet, George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road, and Chad Stahelski for John Wick are bringing practical stunts back to the spotlight. Real car crashes, real punches, real pain. The Mission Impossible franchise has practically become Tom Cruise audition tape for the afterlife. Hanging off planes, jumping between rooftops, learning to fly helicopters. At this point, the man is a stunt. Modern stunts teams now mix practical effects with CGI to polish the final product, but the emphasis is back on making things feel real. Because audiences know when something's fake, and when a dude actually just threw himself down a staircase like a human tumbleweed. So, what has changed, and what has stayed the same? What changed is the tech. What stayed the same is the guts. From silent era pratfalls to today's death-defying insanity, stunt performers have always been the unsung heroes of cinema. They take the hits so actors don't have to, unless you're Tom Cruise or Jackie Chan. And they do it all for one reason: to make the audience feel something. Zoe Bell, for instance, a New Zealand-born stuntwoman, doubled for Lucy Lawless in Xena, Warrior Princess, and then famously became Uma Thurman's stunt double in Kill Bill. She's known for doing outrageous stunts herself, like standing on a speeding car in Death Proof with no CGI safety net. Hal Needham, on the other hand, was the legendary Daredevil behind countless classic stunts in the 1960s and 1970s. He was Burt Reynolds' go-to stunt double and later directed Smokey and the Bandit. Needham broke over 50 bones in his career. The man basically treated gravity like a suggestion. Both of them remind us the tech may change, but the bravery, that's timeless. We cheer, we gasp, we wince, and sometimes we rewind just to watch it again, because stunts, when done right, they aren't just action, they're storytelling. They're characters in motion. They show who's brave, they show who's desperate, and who's about to make a terrible decision in a very cool way. Stunts have come a long way from the days of silent comedy and stagecoach chases. They've evolved into a hybrid of choreography, physics, engineering, and sheer willpower. But whether it's a fall, a slip, or a fight, one thing's for sure: if it makes you go, "How did they do that?" someone risked a few bones to make it happen. So next time you're watching a movie and a guy jumps off a motorcycle into a helicopter while dodging bullets and fireballs, don't just be impressed. Be grateful. That's history in motion. That's cinema with bruises. That's the evolution of stunts. So, what do you think about stunts in movies? What's the wildest stunt you've ever seen? And what do you think about the Stunt Award category coming in 2028? Let me know in the comments. Also, please do like this video and subscribe to Muveematic. It does help us out. Till next time, go see yourself a great movie. Peace.